Hey, this will be a video chart on WAMUQ, Washington Mutual, an absolutely crazy day. Probably one of the crazier days I've ever been in when trying to trade something. Market orders getting canceled, putting in, prices 2 cents above the ask and not getting filled. It was just a wild day. Still made some money on it, but I think the only time I could ever really get in was when I bought on the bid on pullbacks because trying to buy in at the offer just was not working. I'm not sure if it did later on in the day. I kind of got frustrated about midway through and quit trading it, but I still do have some shares I got filled at I think 43.5 cents when I didn't even know it was just a wild day. I think I'll just leave it at that. But I want to get it updated and look at the 5 minute and 1 minute chart because there were some pretty interesting things that occurred, and we'll see what if anything pans out of it. But given kind of the trading action, it's pretty interesting, especially when you break down this day. Yes, this is a true day. Price literally did hit 70 cents and literally did drop all the way down here, and then had the nice power push, I should say bounce, where it came up here. Still obviously off quite a bit from its highs, but much better than having closed down here. You see the volume just huge, and then when you add up the dollar volume, all these shares were trading well above 25 cents, so quite a bit of dollar volume also. But just a really quirky kind of weird day. As far as the daily chart, nothing really needs to be updated. The price is still above all these support levels, so that's a good thing. Now, at one point, you can see that the price had actually crashed through all of them, but actually came down here and bounced right off the 20-day, or excuse me, 10-day simple moving average, and closed up above everything. So the daily chart remains the same. Nothing, none of these supports has turned into resistances because the price was able to close above. So let's go to the 5 minute chart, and you can see pretty much right here is when things went downhill, and they went downhill over about course of an hour and a half or so. But the thing I want to point out is look what happened right here at the bottom. We had this little tiny candle, and then look at the volume that corresponds with that. Now this is the 5 minute chart, so each one of these candles represents 5 minutes worth of price action. So this is just totally speculation, but it almost seems like the price dropped all the way down here, and then they loaded somebody up right here. I don't know who that person would have been or group, but just pretty bizarre that the whole thing came down, had a huge thing of volume, and then from there on out the rest of the day, the price went up. This even looks more fishy on the 1 minute chart. So once again, all this means is each one of these candles represents 1 minute worth of price action. So here we are again, just this big fall, and then look right down here at the bottom. You see what I see? Huge volume bars right here over about a 3 minute period. So this all happened in about 3 minutes right here at the bottom. And then look at that. Price just took off right there. Now maybe this was just a big, huge seller who wanted to get out, and this is where he finally was able to sell the rest of his shares. That's a possibility too, but I don't know. I guess I'm in more of a conspiracy mood right now. So it almost seems like they dropped it down and then filled somebody right down here at the basically right bottom. Who knows? Maybe I'm just been watching too much Twilight Zone. I don't know, but just a really weird day. So I don't know what to make of it. People keep asking me, and your guess is as good as mine on a day like this. All I'm going by is a chart, and like I said, the daily chart still intact. But we want to make sure that these support lines hold, and if not, at least our trend lines here. So that is where the chart stands for now. We'll have to see what comes the rest of this week. It's only Tuesday, so we could have 3 more days of some pretty weird action. So if there are any other questions, please let me know. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you will be sent a free ebook, which has been getting good reviews. And with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from penny stocks up to big boards. So there's a nice variety, something for everybody. And it's all free, so it's worth at least signing up and giving it a try. One more time, this was Washington Mutual, WAMUQ. Thanks for listening.